1. Introduction. My name is Mary. I was 25 years old when my whole life changed. I met a man named Adrian. Everyone who knew him said he was very charming. They also said he was very rich and had much power. Many people thought I was a very lucky woman to meet him and to be with him. But they did not know everything. They did not see what I saw later. The full truth was hidden from them. The first time I saw Adrian, I was standing outside in the rain. It was a cold and wet day. My dress was completely wet from the rain. My shoes felt heavy because they were full of water. I was also very late for my job. Then, Adrian stopped his black car right in front of me. He slowly lowered the window. His smile was very bright, like a warm fire. He asked me if I wanted a ride in his car. At first, I said no, because I did not know him. But his eyes looked at me in a way that made me feel I had to say yes. His eyes were very strong and pulled me in. That night, I could not stop thinking about him. I thought of his smile and his eyes before I finally fell asleep. A few days later, I saw him again. He came to my work. Then many weeks passed. He gave me beautiful red roses. He gave me many gifts. After some months, he asked me a very important question. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes to his question. I agreed to become his wife. The wedding day was truly like a dream. There were many bright lights everywhere. Soft music played for us. Beautiful flowers were placed in every corner of the room. Everyone around us was smiling and looking happy for us. Adrian held my hand so tightly. I felt like he would never, ever let go of my hand. I felt like a queen on that special day. I thought that my new, happy life was just beginning. I believed this was the start of everything wonderful for me. But in truth, it was not a beginning. It was actually the end of my happy life. It was the end of the person I used to be. 2. A new life. Our new life began in a beautiful house. It was very big and sat on a hill. The house had many glass windows and white walls. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Adrian worked a lot. Every morning, he gave me a kiss before he left for work. He always came back home in the evening, often late. When he returned, he usually brought me gifts. Sometimes it was a new dress. Other times it was shining diamonds or expensive perfume. These things were very expensive. They looked like proof of his love. But soon, I started to feel lonely in the big house. The silence felt heavy. The expensive gifts did not make me happy for long. They could not fill the empty space I felt inside. I began to notice small things that felt wrong, like tiny cracks in a perfect picture. Adrian had many secrets, and I could feel them. I heard him talk very softly on the phone late at night. He thought I was sleeping, but I was awake. His voice was low, and I could not hear the words clearly. This whispering made me feel strange. Then, I started to smell a different perfume. It was not my perfume, and it was not a scent I knew. This sweet, strong smell was often on Adrian's shirts when he came home. It made my heart feel heavy with worry. I looked closely at Adrian's face when he smiled at me. His smile was still charming, but now I saw something else in his eyes. I saw small lies hiding there like shadows. My mind started to think deeply about what these signs meant. The perfect image of our life began to break apart. One evening, I could not keep quiet anymore. Adrian was sitting in the living room. I walked slowly to him, my hands shaking a little. I asked a direct question. "Adrian, who were you with today?" My voice was quiet, but I needed to know the truth. Adrian looked up at me. He laughed a little, a short, dry sound. Then he put his hand on my face. He said, "You are just being jealous, Mary. Please, do not be silly." He spoke these words easily. He tried to make it seem like I was wrong to ask. He tried to make me feel foolish, but inside, my heart knew the truth. My feelings told me something important. Adrian was not being honest with me. He was not faithful to me. The beautiful house and the expensive gifts could not hide this sad truth. I felt a coldness begin to grow deep inside me. This was not the happy new life I had dreamed of. This was something different. It was the beginning of a different, sadder story for me. 3. The sad truth. The night air was cold. I walked near our house, thinking about Adrian. I hoped he would come home soon. Then I saw them. Under the bright streetlight, Adrian was not alone. He stood with another woman. She was tall, with bright red lips and long, dark hair. Adrian held her close. His hands were on her waist. They kissed. My heart stopped beating for a moment. A sharp pain shot through my chest. It felt like someone had hit me very hard. My breath caught in my throat. I wanted to scream loudly to make them stop. But no sound came out of my mouth. I just stood there, hidden in the shadows, watching my husband. My mind could not believe what my eyes saw. This was the truth I had felt in my heart. I went back to the house. My legs felt weak. I waited for Adrian to come home. When he walked in, I was waiting for him. My voice shook when I asked him about the woman. I looked at him, hoping for a lie, hoping for a good reason. But he did not even try to hide it. He looked at me with eyes like ice. There was no warmth, no love. He spoke in a very cold voice. "Mary," he said, "you are my wife. That is your only job. Do not ask me about other things. Do not ask more." His words were like a heavy door closing. They told me I had no right to question him. I felt a terrible coldness spread through me. His words were not just cruel, they were like poison in my mind. He made me silent. He told me to accept this sad truth. I could not speak, I could not fight. I was just his wife, and that was all. My role was clear, and it was a very small role. That night, I cried for a long time. The big house felt even bigger and emptier than before. It was full of shadows and silence, just like my heart. I lay in our bed, but it felt like I was completely alone in the whole world. The dreams of our wedding, of a happy new life, were completely broken. They were replaced by a deep, heavy sadness. I knew then that my life with Adrian was not the beautiful story I had hoped for. It was a very sad truth. I was alone, even when he was near. The house, once full of new hopes, now felt like a lonely place for a lonely wife. I felt lost inside its large, quiet rooms. For the last night, the house began to feel like a cage for me. Every day I felt more and more trapped inside its big walls. I became very sad and grew sick. My body lost weight and my skin became pale. I often felt weak and tired. The large, beautiful rooms felt empty, and silence was my only friend. I missed the happy Mary I once was. Despite all the pain, I still loved Adrian. I wanted to believe that he would change his ways. I hoped he would stop seeing the other woman. I wished he would come back to me and make things right, but he never did. My hope slowly faded away. I heard his footsteps coming home very late at night, almost every night. Sometimes I heard quiet whispers from behind closed doors. I often smelled the sweet perfume that was not mine. It was a strong smell on his shirts when he came home. These things made my sadness grow deeper each day. I felt like a ghost already, walking through the house, unseen and unheard by him. My love for Adrian became a heavy burden, like strong chains holding me down. I could not escape my feelings, and I could not escape the house that had become my prison. One particular night, everything changed forever. Adrian came home very late. He was not just late, he was also extremely angry. His eyes were red, and I could smell alcohol on him very strongly. He did not look at me with any love. Instead, he looked at me with pure hate. He started to shout loudly. He used many mean words. He called me weak and said I was nothing important in his life. His cruel words cut me like a sharp knife. I could not stop the tears. I cried because my heart was completely broken. I cried because I felt so utterly alone and scared in that moment. I begged him to stop shouting. I asked him to calm down and talk to me, but he did not listen to my words. He took a step closer to me. Then he pushed me very hard with both hands. My body fell back quickly and without warning. My head hit the edge of a heavy wooden table. I felt a sudden, sharp pain, worse than anything before. Everything went red for a moment, and I saw blood. Then the world around me started to spin. The lights became dim. I tried with all my strength to stay awake, but I could not. Everything turned black. My last memory was Adrian standing over me. His face was empty, showing no emotion. In that terrible moment, I knew my life was over. He had killed me. 5, a new name. That night, my life truly ended. My body lay still and cold on the floor of the big, silent house. but my spirit did not leave. It stayed there, trapped within the same walls where I had lived and then died. I felt a strange, new feeling inside me. It was not the peace of death. Instead, it was a deep, burning pain that filled every part of my being. There was also a strong, hot anger. My heart was broken, but now my spirit was full of a fierce, dark fire. I could not rest. I could not move on. My soul felt tied, like with heavy chains, to this house. It was tied to Adrian, to his lies, and to his cruel actions. The unfairness of my death kept me there. I felt like a prisoner, even after my body was gone. I was a silent watcher in my own home. Then something very strange happened in the darkness of the room. I woke up, but not in my bed. I woke up inside the mirror. It was the big, tall mirror in our bedroom. I used to look at myself there every morning. At first, I saw my reflection looking back, but it was not really me, not the Mary I knew. The reflection in the glass smiled, but I was not smiling at all. My eyes in the mirror were not my old, soft eyes. They were bright red, glowing like two small fires in the dark glass. I felt a new power growing inside me. It was dark and cold, yet incredibly strong. I slowly reached out my hand to the mirror. My fingers touched the cold surface of the glass. Slowly, a small crack appeared on the mirror's surface. Then another and another. The glass started to break, but it did not fall from the frame. I looked at the face in the mirror again, seeing it clearly now. It was my face, yes, but it was also not my face anymore. The gentle Mary, who tried to please Adrian, was gone. The sad wife, who cried alone in the big house, was gone. The woman who loved Adrian was gone forever. In her place was something new, something powerful and very scary. The blood that had spilled from my head on the floor now felt like a part of my very being, my new ghost self. It was my power now, a dark and terrible energy. My name was no longer just Mary. My new name, born from pain and betrayal, was Bloody Mary. This name was not a blessing. It was a strong and terrible curse. A curse for those who had hurt me, and for anyone who dared to say my name in the future. I was a ghost now, a ghost made of deep pain and a burning desire for revenge. My new, terrifying life as Bloody Mary had just begun. 6. My ghost watches. Adrian did not say goodbye with love. He kept my death a secret. He told people I fell down. He said it was an accident. But I knew the truth. My body was gone, but my spirit was not. I was still in the house. I was with him always. I started to follow Adrian. I was in his house. I was in his car. I was even there when he slept. He could not see me clearly at first. He just felt me. He saw dark shapes move in the corners of his eyes. He thought he was alone, but he was not. I was a shadow in the room. I was a cold wind when windows were closed. At night, he heard sounds. He heard my voice. It was a soft whisper. It said his name. Adrian, the sound was very quiet. Sometimes it was like the wind. Other times it was clear, right next to his ear. He would wake up quickly. He would look around the dark room. He would see nothing. But he knew I was there. Adrian became very scared. He started to drink a lot of alcohol. His hands began to shake all the time. He did not eat much food. His face became pale. He looked tired. He tried to forget me, but he could not. I was always near him. He saw me in many places. He saw my face in the mirrors. My red eyes looked back at him from the glass. He saw me in the windows of his house. He saw me in the car's window. Even when he drank water, he thought he saw my face in the clear glass. My blood was everywhere for him. It was on the walls. It was on the floor. It was a sign of my power. Adrian tried to close his eyes. He tried to cover the mirrors, but it did not work. I was inside his mind. I was a part of his fear. He felt me breathe near him. He felt my cold touch. He heard my silent steps behind him. He knew I was watching. He knew he could not escape. I was his ghost. I was his punishment. He killed me, and now I would kill his peace. Slowly, day by day, his fear grew. He was trapped with me, the ghost of Mary. 7. He is not alone. The woman Adrian had loved came to live in the house. She moved her things into my home. Soon, she began to wear my dresses. She put on my jewelry. She even slept in my bed, the bed Adrian and I once shared. It was strange for me to watch her. My anger grew. I was still there, a spirit in the house. I watched her every move. She did not know I was there at first, but soon she started to feel it. She felt a cold air in rooms. She heard quiet sounds when no one was near. She sometimes thought she saw something move in the corner of her eye. Fear began to grow in her heart. She often looked around, but she never saw anything clearly. One night, the woman was sleeping in my old bed. Suddenly, she woke up. Her eyes opened wide. She saw me standing at the end of the bed. My face was wet with blood. Drops of red liquid fell from my skin onto the floor. She screamed a loud, terrible scream. Her voice filled the big house. Adrian ran into the room. He turned on the light. The woman was pointing at the end of the bed. She was shaking and crying. She could only say my name, Mary. Adrian looked where she pointed. He saw me too. His face turned white. He tried to tell the woman that it was nothing, just a dream, but his eyes showed his fear. He saw my blood. He saw my face. I laughed then. It was not a happy laugh. It was a cold, hard sound. The sound seemed to shake the walls of the house. It made the woman scream again. Adrian stood still, frozen in fear. He knew I was real. He knew I was back. From that day, Adrian's life changed completely. He became very thin. His skin turned a sickly gray color. He looked like a man who had not slept for many days. He begged me to stop. He cried and asked me to leave him alone, but I felt no mercy for him. He had taken my life. Now I would take his peace. I would kill him slowly, every day, with fear. His once happy life turned into a nightmare. He stopped going to his work. He could not leave the house. Every place he looked, he saw me. He locked all the mirrors in the house. He covered them with cloths. He thought he could hide from me, but I was everywhere. I was in the shadows. I was in his mind. I was always there, watching him, waiting. He was not alone. 8. The end of the story. Adrian was very scared. He could not sleep or eat. Everywhere he looked, he saw me. My red eyes watched him from every corner. He felt my cold breath. He heard my whispers in the quiet rooms. He tried to hide, but there was no safe place for him. I was always there, a shadow in his mind, a pain in his heart. His life was a nightmare. One day, Adrian decided to end it. He wanted me to stop. He went to the last mirror in the house. It was a big mirror in the living room. He picked up a heavy chair. With all his strength, he threw the chair at the glass. The mirror broke into many small pieces. Glass flew everywhere. Adrian screamed, "Leave me, Mary. Please, leave me alone." He thought this would set him free. But breaking the mirror did not help him. It was too late. I was not just in the glass anymore. I was everywhere. I was inside him. My anger, my sadness, my pain, it was all in his body. He felt my cold hands around his heart. He felt his blood turn cold in his veins. His body began to shake badly. He fell to the floor. His eyes were wide with great fear. He could not breathe. His mouth was open, but no sound came out. Then Adrian stopped moving. His heart stopped beating. He was dead. He died from the fear I gave him. The house became very quiet. The other woman heard the crash. She saw Adrian on the floor. She screamed and ran away from the house. She never came back. Now I am alone in the house again. I am still here. I am Bloody Mary. I was Mary, a wife who loved. Then I became Bloody Mary, a ghost of revenge. I waited for Adrian, and now he is gone. My story is not just about love and a broken heart. It is about blood, about anger, and about never resting. I am a curse. I wait in the glass, in the shadows. If you are brave, if you want to see me, you can try. Go to a dark room, look into a mirror. Say my name, Bloody Mary, 3 times. Then I will come. I will show you the face Adrian saw right before he died. My story will never truly end. I am still here.